Joining us now to look at what worked in 2021 and where the money could be headed in 22 is Jean-René Giraud. He is the CEO of Trackinsight. Jean-René, welcome. Good to have you with us.
Thanks, Tyler, for having me.
I see that a lot of the money, I guess not surprisingly, has gone into ESG ETFs. Is that because they're well marketed, because there's demand, a little of both?
It's probably both of them. And you're right to say that, and you introduce the fact that 2021 is an incredible year. It is an amazing year, actually. It's a year that everyone will remember. We passed the 10 trillion mark, and we've had over $1 trillion of investments. And you're right to say that the three themes that led this are ESG, active, and thematic. And ESG was the main one. So it is indeed something that has been really, really well marketed by the industry, but also it is a response to the investors' needs.
Excuse me for just one moment, Jean-René, if I might. When you say an active ETF, what does that mean, and how is an active ETF different from just a run-of-the-mill, actively managed mutual fund?
That is really the good question that will explain what's going to happen in the future. ETFs are considered and grew over the last 20 years as indexes, as funds or vehicles to replicate an index. And that was what fueled the growth of the last 20 years. But now we are at a turning point where the industry understood that an ETF is actually not only a tracker. An ETF is an exchange-traded fund. It's a way to put any strategy on the market and to distribute that through exchanges. So the industry realized that the growth that was captured through indexation and passive exposure could now be replicated through active strategies. And we've seen the flows in active ETFs more than doubling from last year. And active ETFs now reach over 350 billion in AUMs globally. So this is really a massive trend that is coming in addition to the massive inflows into ESG.
Can you talk, Jean-René, about what you think are going to be the areas to watch for next year? I did think it was interesting that your number one for inflows was China Internet, which was also the worst for performance. And usually the flows follow performance. In this case, probably following on from a strong 2020. And obviously, I doubt they're going to be, there's been a lot of flows lately.
That's a very interesting question, too. And the third trend that we've seen into the industry over the last year and that will prevail next year is the interest in thematic investing. And this is where we can make very interesting analysis, so like the one you did on China. And thumbs up to, for example, energy-related ETFs, rare metals, batteries, nuclear infrastructure. These ETFs are leading the march into performance, but also flows. So here you see really a good synchronization of the investors with who are putting the money where the performance are. But on the other side, we also see very interesting opposite examples. And that, for example, comes into the work from home trend, where you have a number of ETFs that try to capture the trends in e-commerce, in work from home, in cloud computing. And this is very interesting to see that here, these ETFs are the ones that saw the most important and significant outflows, despite the perception that work from home could be a massive driver for growth in the coming years.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.